I'm Art Perino. I've been a professional truck driver for over 50 years. I held a commercial license with every endorsement you could have. I did a lot of specialty stuff, mostly fun stuff.
1, 2, 3, 4.
That's a real good question. When I graduated from high school, I was working at a dairy, and the owner of the dairy had a truck he used to haul his own hay with. And we would go out to the hay fields and pick up the bales and bring them back to the dairy. Earlier than that, when I was about 9 years old, my grandfather had an orange orchard, and he had an old GMC flatbed truck. He put blocks on the pedals so I could drive the truck through the orange groves and pick up the oranges as the pickers picked them and dumped their bags in the boxes, and drove it like 3 miles down to the packing house. So I actually started at I was less than 10 years old. What drew me to it? Probably the independence. No boss. I graduated from college and had a job with a very large company, had a boss, and I lasted 3 months. I had never had a boss. The owner of the dairy was kind of somebody who just let us do what we had to do to get the job done, never told us what to do. And from there, when I graduated from high school, I went to work for a company that did local pickup and delivery in Los Angeles, California. And so I started as soon as I had a driver's license, and I guess I just fell in love with it. I mean, I don't know how to explain it any other way. The freedom. I was kind of a free spirit as a kid anyway, and never got along with authority figures very well. And my father was a full-time military man, so authority figures were, I guess, something that I tried to avoid. I grew up almost like a private in the Army. Well, in the old days, we had CB radios. We talked a lot to each other. And as modern times came along, XM radio, which you have a lot of different types of music. You have 3 or 4 channels. They call them the trucker channels. You've got guys. Well, the gentleman just died. His name was Bill Mack. He was known as the Midnight Cowboy. He'd been on the radio over 50 years, from midnight to 6 a.m. And in the old days, you amused yourself listening to AM radio. And of course, as XM radio came along, XM has 100 channels of music. And then I became addicted to audio books. But a lot of it is, I don't know, you go down the road and think. You know? I mean, if you listen on the CB radio, there were guys that used to sing on the radio. And it was an expression, you know, don't give up your day job. But some of them have become country western stars. Some of them have become very well known. And I think some of us just enjoyed the travel. You know, you're always in a different place. You're always going to a different part of the country. And in a way, that was amusement just in itself. Don't forget your origin. You know, we're all created equally in the image of our Creator, but I think most people lose sight of that because they cannot understand perfection. We have examples in the Bible of close to perfection other than Jesus, but there have been many men who have succeeded without trampling on other people. That's been one thing that I've always tried as an employer, as an employee. I've always felt that if you treated your people the the way you want to be treated, that you will do much better than if you become a tyrant or a jerk. Just remember, that guy has feelings. He probably's got kids and a wife, and he might have had a problem at home. So don't judge him for the single act. I hauled hazmat all my life, and I'm 77 years old and still here, so we had a lot of fun. I had an instance where I got pulled over by a cop in West Texas, which is big open plains, but very windy. And I won't tell you I wasn't speeding, but I jumped out of the truck and ran back because he pulled up behind me, and ran back and told him, get away, get around in front of me, because the wind was blowing real hard. And he said, why? I said, because you're going to be contaminated. And I had my Geiger counter in my hand. And we had to know how to use Geiger counters, of course. And we wore dosimeters and badges and everything. And I had it set on millirads, which makes a lot of noise, and there's less than your TV would put off. And a colored TV, unshielded colored TV, was less safe than the load we were hauling. But anyway, that cop panicked, took off, got in front of us, and got on the CB radio and said, just go, get out of here. Saved me a ticket.